Have you ever wondered why good people sometimes do terrible things? What makes someone cross the line from moral to immoral? Is evil something that only exists in certain people, or can anyone be influenced to act in ways they never imagined? The Lucifer Effect by Philip Zimbardo explores this disturbing reality, how ordinary individuals can commit horrifying acts under specific conditions. It challenges the idea that only bad people do evil things and instead reveals that, given the right circumstances, almost anyone can. This book is deeply rooted in Zimbardo's famous Stanford Prison Experiment, one of the most shocking and controversial psychological studies in history. Conducted in 1971, this experiment sought to understand how power, authority, and situational forces influence human behavior. The findings were eye-opening. Seemingly normal college students quickly adapted to their assigned roles as either guards or prisoners, with many guards becoming cruel and authoritarian, while prisoners became passive and distressed. This leads us to the book's core message: evil is not just about individual choices, but about the systems and environments that shape those choices. Psychological and social factors can turn even well-intentioned people into perpetrators of harm. In this summary, we'll break down Zimbardo's key findings and discuss how his research applies to real-world situations, from historical atrocities to modern-day abuses of power. The Stanford Prison Experiment. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo set up an experiment in the basement of Stanford University to explore how social roles and situational factors influence human behavior. He selected 24 physically and mentally healthy college students and randomly assigned them roles as either prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. The experiment was designed to last 2 weeks, but what happened next shocked even the researchers. On the first day, everything seemed normal, but by the second day, the guards started asserting their authority aggressively. They enforced strict rules, gave out arbitrary punishments, and humiliated the prisoners by making them do push-ups, stripping them naked, and even depriving them of sleep. The prisoners, on the other hand, initially resisted but quickly became passive and submissive as the abuse escalated. Some prisoners experienced emotional breakdowns, crying uncontrollably and begging to leave. Others started to conform completely, acting as though they truly were criminals. The guards, who were given power and anonymity, by wearing sunglasses and uniforms, became increasingly sadistic. One of them even said, "I enjoyed breaking the prisoners down." The end of the experiment. Although the study was planned for 2 weeks, Zimbardo was forced to stop it after just 6 days because the abuse had gone too far. The transformation of the participants was shocking. Normal students had turned into oppressors and victims in less than a week. Zimbardo himself admitted that he had also gotten lost in his role as the prison superintendent and failed to intervene until an outsider, psychologist Christina Maslach, called out the ethical concerns. Key takeaways from the experiment. Situations can overpower personality. People aren't just good or bad, their behavior depends on their environment. Authority and anonymity encourage cruelty. When people feel they won't be held accountable, they are more likely to act in harmful ways. Dehumanization leads to abuse. The prisoners were treated as objects, not humans, making it easier for the guards to mistreat them. Anyone can fall into a role. The students weren't bad people, but they adapted to the roles they were given. Why do good people turn evil? Zimbardo argues that evil is not necessarily a result of an individual's nature but often stems from systems and social influences that shape behavior. He identifies key psychological factors that can push people toward immoral actions. Key psychological factors. De-individuation, losing identity in a group. When people become part of a group, they may lose their personal identity and moral compass. This happens when individuals feel anonymous and unaccountable, like guards in the Stanford Prison Experiment who wore sunglasses and uniforms. Example: riots, online trolling, and mob violence. People act in ways they normally wouldn't because they feel they are just part of a crowd. Obedience to authority, following orders without questioning. People tend to obey authority figures, even when doing so conflicts with their personal values. Zimbardo connects this to Stanley Milgram's shock experiments, where participants obeyed orders to deliver what they thought were painful shocks to others. Example: soldiers in wartime often justify their actions with, "I was just following orders," leading to atrocities like those seen in Nazi Germany or at Abu Ghraib prison. Conformity, going along with the group. Even if people disagree internally, they often conform to the group to avoid standing out. Peer pressure and social norms make it difficult for individuals to resist harmful actions. Example, employees in corrupt workplaces may stay silent about unethical behavior because everyone else is doing it. Dehumanization, seeing others as less than human. When people no longer see others as human beings, they become capable of treating them cruelly. Language plays a role. Referring to people as animals or vermin can justify inhumane actions. Example, slavery, genocide, and bullying. When individuals or groups are labeled as inferior, harming them becomes easier. Situational power, context shapes behavior more than personality. Zimbardo stresses that it's not just about good or bad individuals, but rather how systems and environments shape behavior. When placed in positions of power or oppression, people change drastically. Example, corporate fraud, political corruption, and police brutality. People act differently when they believe the system allows or encourages their actions. Real-world examples. Abu Ghraib prison scandal. In 2003, U.S. soldiers abused and tortured Iraqi prisoners at Abu Ghraib prison. The soldiers, placed in a high-stress environment with little oversight, engaged in degrading and inhumane treatment of detainees. Many later claimed they were following orders and conforming to their peers' behavior. This mirrors the Stanford Prison Experiment. Guards, given unchecked power, dehumanized and mistreated prisoners. Nazi Germany. Ordinary citizens became complicit in mass genocide due to propaganda, obedience to authority, and peer pressure. Many participated in the Holocaust not because they were inherently evil, but because they were following orders and conforming to societal expectations. The Nazi regime dehumanized Jewish people, portraying them as subhuman, which justified their mistreatment. Evil is not always about bad people, it's often about bad systems and influences. The Lucifer Effect teaches us that under the right, or wrong, conditions, even the most moral individuals can be led to commit harmful acts. This means we must be extra vigilant about the environments we operate in, our workplaces, social groups, and institutions. By understanding these psychological forces, we can take steps to resist negative influences, speak out against unethical actions, and promote systems that encourage integrity and compassion. What do you think? Have you ever seen good people do bad things because of pressure or authority? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more book summaries.